All right, good evening, everyone. Futures Maurizio here, 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, May 14th. Hope everybody's doing well. First of all, I apologize. I know the video probably is not looking too good. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm traveling this week. So I'm coming at you here from a hotel room. And so obviously I don't have multiple monitors, and I don't feel like changing all the OBS settings off of my what happens when I'm at home on my big monitor. So I had to turn on the microphone. So I also apologize. The audio is probably not as good as when I use my boom mic at home. But anyways, uh, that's fine. I'm sure we'll accomplish the goal here. Anyways, so as always, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're just finding it for the first time, and leave any questions or comments down below. And obviously, I'm not on camera here either because the camera on my laptop, quite frankly, is not good. And so I'm just going to do this just by audio, and I'm sure nobody cares that they don't have to see my mug. So, anyways, so let's move on. So we're going to just take a quick look at the price action from today in Forex, and we'll take a quick look at a couple of futures, and we'll just take care of that really quick, and that'll be all. So, all right, so I have gone and basically just looking only at US dollar pairs for now in Forex. I was looking at a lot of other different stuff, but again, because I'm in the Eastern time zone for the most part, I find that a lot of the like Euro GBP crosses, if they're not crossed with the US dollar, if you go and look at the price action, a lot of the big moves happen during the London session, which I don't trade. And so, anyways, I've just for now, especially since I don't trade Forex exclusively or even mainly, I've decided just to concentrate on just a half a dozen US dollar pairs, mostly majors here, all majors. All right, so we'll start on Kiwi USD. And again, guys, I'm using Heikin-Ashi charts here in order to smooth out the price action. I find it really helpful with Forex, not as much with futures, but because Forex can be so volatile, I find Heikin-Ashi charts to be helpful. So we'll look at some higher time frames first. This is the 4-hour chart, and we did have this move up, which I thought was maybe going to create a new move to the upside because we took out this price action right here. Let me just grab my tool. We took out this area right here when price went up. We did break it and swept it today and came back down. So now we'll have to see what happens. I actually took a long on this. And by the way, guys, this is just a demo MT5 account I use, but I trade on my funded account. But I really like MetaTrader 5. It's nice and basic. I was able to put this Heikin-Ashi indicator in my custom indicator. So this is just an MT5 demo account that I have with Forex.com. But anyways, so this you can see here we did sweep this area today, took out this high, and then we've come back down. Now, so we'll have to see what happens from here. The question is, are we going to go up, form a lower high, and then continue down, or is this a change of character right here, and then we'll this is a pullback, and then tomorrow we'll break higher, and we'll have to see how that goes. If we're on the 1-hour chart, you can see price did react at that level, understandably, broke higher and then moved lower. A lot's been happening fundamentally with tariffs and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see. The dollar has been under a lot of stress, and then it news comes out that's positive and it rallies back. So there is a lot of fundamental action with the dollar right now. So look, at the end of the day, that's what moves prices, not technicals. So you just have to know that going in. So you can see if you're a Fibonacci trader, we have traded right to the 61.8, and then price rejected off of there. I don't put a ton of weight in there, but it is interesting to note. We did break this structure here on the 1 hour chart and did break lower. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, whether we get like, a push up here. If price rallies back through here during London, and then maybe we get some kind of pullback during New York. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. So, again, from a 4 hour standpoint, this move up did look pretty bullish in the grand scheme of things, with this pullback area here being swept. But the question is this a liquidity sweep or heading lower, or is this a change of character, basically, a new high, and now we're just pulling back to eventually go higher again? And you're going to see that's a pretty common theme on all these pairs. You can see here on the Euro USD, I've taken the assumption here that this is going to go lower, and you can see I'm in a short right now. And the reason why is because on this one, unlike the Kiwi USD, we did not break the structure up here. We didn't even come up to this high right here before it started heading back down. So I did decide to take this one. Now, I think all these pairs will go one way, all go one way, or all go the other. That's the one thing about trading. Like, if you're looking at like Kiwi USD, Aussie USD, GBP USD, Euro USD, they're probably all going to move generally in the same direction. And so I'm looking at this one and saying, yeah, this looks kind of bearish that we went up. So, but we'll see. But I'm not going to, take this same short on all these other pairs, because if I'm wrong and the price does turn and start going back up again against the dollar, then, you just compound your losses. And when you're trading, especially a funded account, you can't do that. So, because you'll lose your account. So again, looking at Aussie USD, this one, again, is different from the other two in terms of just what it did. We did go up, and this was just a line I put on the chart last night when I was looking at this. You can see here, potentially, again, because, we haven't exactly confirmed, but this would also feed into the bearish theory here, because price did rally up. It failed to put in a new high or even an equal high on this chart. This is the 4 hour Aussie USD, and then started selling off. And so again, what I'd be looking for here is to see like a nice pullback here off this move down, and then for it to put in like a lower high somewhere, and then turn and then go, head back lower. So if this is what it's going to do, this is what I'd want to see. And again, we did put in a lower high here off this attempt to push up and move higher. So we'll see what happens here. And guys, just got to pause the video for one moment. I apologize about that. Hey, sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, so like I said, these pairs all are kind of moving the same way. And again, with the Aussie USD, we did put in this lower high. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I think that'll be telling. Okay, so moving on to dollar yen. So this also would play into the narrative that the dollar may strengthen. And of course, that would take away from this bearish look here on the Aussie USD, because dollar yen on the 4 hour chart looks somewhat bullish, although with these Heikin-Ashi candles, which is kind of an interesting thing to note, we do see these couple of Heikin-Ashi candles, which on a shorter time frame, these are nice pullbacks. So are we going to just put in another one of these and move lower? We do have a couple of areas of interest down lower here. We've got one here, and then we've got this big one down here. So again, I think it's a little unclear right now. We have some conflict here on these charts. So again, let's see what happens. Down on the 1 hour chart, we did have this bigger pullback on dollar yen yet today, but we are still technically moving down although these pullbacks are really small. And of course, this is a yen cross as opposed to, which can always be a little funky compared to other ones. So now we looked at the pound USD, again on the 4-hour chart. Again, this one looks almost exactly like the Kiwi USD, where we were trading low. We did take out some structure today, or actually, this would have been yesterday, overnight last night. And then, swept up here. Is this a sweep or is this a structure break? And then this is just a pullback and we'll go higher. Again, not exactly clear right now. What I would like to see on a shorter time frame is either a a move with some structural changes to start going higher. But but we could just see this is down on the hourly chart. I mean, we could just see this, retrace up here, something like that, and then just keep going down. But again, if we come back up and we take out this zone again, and we come back up to this level, it doesn't even have to come all the way. But I think if we come back up and take out this structure here again, then we're probably, we're definitely going, well, probably going. There's nothing definite. All right, so a little bit of uncertainty here in the dollar, depending what chart you're looking at. And I think that really matches the volatility that's in the market. Lastly, on dollar Canadian, go to the 4-hour. This one, let me take this vertical line off of here. This one, again, you can actually kind of see a trend line hold right here. So we'll see if this breaks this trend line, this price moves back up again. We did come down here and tap this zone today and then move back higher. Actually, again, this probably would have been yesterday. No, actually, probably early this morning, and moved higher. Okay. So, but again, this one's a little different because this has the Canadian dollar in here. But, we are still technically moving higher. We did have this area here that price held, but at the same time, we also put in a lower high right here and then moved down. So, so we do have some uncertainty. I'd like this thing to all these pairs to kind of play out a little bit and either just continue these moves in the direction they're in with pullbacks and then continuing moves, or do break back through structure level. So we're going to see what happens. I think tomorrow will be kind of a pivotal day with a lot of that, and we'll see once New York session rolls around tomorrow morning to see where things are at. So I'll be curious to see what happens during the London session tomorrow, and see if we get any follow through or if these trends continue back the other way. So anyways, a bit of uncertainty with these. We get a little different look on each one of these dollar pairs depending which chart we look at, and that always is a little concerning because again, if it's being driven by the dollar and everything is moving in the same direction, then all the pairs should kind of show you should all kind of agree with that to some degree. There could be some slight variations, but when you start getting a little bit of conflicting views just based on chart patterns, then that's always a concern that it could be in a transitional phase, and it could also just mean that the dollar is not the driving force behind these. But I don't think that's the case. So, and let me just say one thing really quick, guys. You should be able to look at a chart and know pretty quickly if it's trending or what it's doing, and if it's something you want to watch closely to potentially get into. And it's okay if you don't. I mean, if the longer you stare at a chart, if you can't tell within several seconds of what it's doing, then there's probably nothing for you to do. And of course, I'm talking about whatever time frames you look at. You just move on to something else. I mean, if they don't force anything, because the longer you sit there and stare at something, the more your brain's going to think that you want to see something, and you're liable to see something that's not there. It should be very plain, and if it's not, then it's not, and that's okay, right? So I haven't been watching charts particularly close the last 2 days because like I said, I've been traveling. That's why I'm sticking to like these higher time frames. And if I see something obvious setting up, then maybe I'll take it. But, I'm perfectly content just watching these two and see what they do. and that's fine. Okay, so that's it for Forex. Not very insightful, I know, but I still think there's a lot of uncertainty right now on what these dollar pairs are doing. Just moving on to futures. So this is oil. You can see I'm in a short right now. It just actually, I just realized about 2 hours ago, it just missed my TP. So I may just close this manually. I'm literally just looking at this now, guys. I haven't looked at it in about 3 hours. And you can see it's since 3 hours ago, price was up here near my entry, and it just kind of tanked, which is great because this is my TP level down here. You can see how close I came. That's really frustrating. But anyways, I'll keep an eye on this bull candle right now. This is the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it looks like this may turn and go up. It looks like we've now put in a lower high here. So I'm probably just going to close this, but I'll wait till we end the video. And so on this asset, yeah, you can see on the 4-hour chart how we're coming into this support level. So I took a counter trend trade down to what is an obvious support level here on this 4-hour chart into this zone right here. And we may turn and go higher now because we are still on this time frame in an uptrend. So so that's one of those counter trend trades I took off the short time frame, basically on a lower high. This is where I took this trade. When price put in this lower high right here, all right, coming off this high, we tried twice to go higher and failed, and that's where I jumped in. Obviously, it wasn't intended to be a really long trade because I did have a TP at this level and marked it off, and it looks like, at least for now, it looks like we're reacting from that level. And then on natural gas, I actually closed this trade way too. I was in a trade. I got out at this zone when price came down to here. It did go a little bit lower, and it's now sitting at this level down here, but I'm out of that short, as you can see. And if we look on the 4-hour chart here, this one's not as clear as natural gas. We are heading towards this zone right here. So it'll be interesting to see if we break through here, then I'm not going to take any more shorts from in here because we're very close to this pretty big structure level here on the 4-hour. This is the one I closed it at, which wasn't obviously very strong. You can see this pullback compared to this one, but I did feel it was a management area. I could have just held it, but I didn't. I closed it, but it was still a profitable trade. But we are coming down now into this arguably bigger area. So we'll see what happens when we get down. If we break through here, then I do think we'll probably head back towards these lows. This little pullback here on the 4-hour chart probably won't do anything. Again, guys, you can see where the Heikin-Ashi charts really kind of quiet things down, and it really lets you see these major structure levels without all the noise of alternating candles running up and confusing you. This just cleans it up. So that's why I like using the 4-hour and the 1-hour for analysis and entry, and then obviously I'll use shorter time frames to fine tune entries and exit, the 15-minute, the 5-minute. But I'm not taking my cues from those time frames. I'm taking my entries off like the 30-minute to the 1-hour, with kind of a larger analysis off the 4-hour chart. So those are just my preferred time frames. So all right, so yeah, so that's it. So we'll see what happens with NG. As it approaches this area, probably during the overnight, and if we get a strong enough bullish reaction, we start moving back the other way. That's when I would go to a shorter time frame, start looking for higher highs and higher lows coming back off this low. Start stair stepping up. Then that would suggest that we're going to turn and go higher. But if we just pull up a little bit here, make one wave up, and then it comes blasting back through this level, then that's fine too. Then I'll consider taking another short. All right, so that's it, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Pretty simple. Not a heck of a lot to report, but we will see what happens with these dollar pairs, and I'm going to try to jump back on here tomorrow night, and we'll talk about it post tomorrow's action to see if we get any clearer indication of what these are going to do next. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll catch up tomorrow. And again, like the channel, guys, subscribe. Any questions, comments, as always, leave them down below. Look forward to talking to you again and appreciate you watching. Have a great night. All right, talk to everybody soon.